Now, a lot of investors are looking at the stronger dollar. They're thinking through their head about the revenues that typically come from overseas for individual stock companies, whether it's from Europe or elsewhere. We're going to see, decreased exports for America. It's going to hit revenues. I think that's a lot of conversation we're starting to hear here at Seeking Alpha as well. I'm just wondering, from your standpoint, do you see any individual stocks right now from a technical side that might be setting up for this environment?
Well, collectively, I mean, our top down work, as you know, it tells us that we're in this bear market cycle. So we're out there working very hard looking for ideas on the long side. And we really can't find many of them whatsoever because it's counter trend. Counter trend positions are lower probability. So where we found, I'll give you an example, an uptrend recently was in corn prices. So for those that might be interested in investing there, we highlighted an ETF called Corn or CORN as a long idea. But within the equity market, it's really difficult to find anything that feels high probability, except perhaps in the energy sector where there still are long-term uptrends, and a little bit more selectively in the utility sector, we're still seeing some uptrends there as well. Those are two of the best performing sectors in relative strength terms versus the broader market. Overseas, as you can imagine, we're seeing very weak relative strength versus the US. So the US still is the place to be globally in terms of relative performance, but unfortunately, in a bear market cycle, the relative performance doesn't always really reward you in absolute terms. We highlighted a chart in our latest research of the German DAX, and there was no new catalyst to the upside or downside. But the downtrend there is really very pronounced. You saw lower highs, and that also goes in relative terms if you took a ratio of the DAX to the S&P 500. So that's the type of thing that we're seeing both in Europe and also in emerging markets.